So if you have ever heard me talk about a Roth IRA, you know that I love Roth IRAs. They do so many good things for people. But if you have not heard this already, I'm going to do the short video on it today. So we're going to cover what the differences are between normal IRAs and Roth IRAs and what difference it can make for you and your life. So the main difference between a normal IRA and a Roth IRA is when you pay taxes. So with a normal IRA, you can invest money in, let's say $100 in, and you do not pay taxes on that $100 when you put it in. So if you made, let's say $10,000 that year, you would not pay taxes on that $100 you put in, so you'd be only taxed on the $9,900 that you made that year. But come retirement, when you need, let's say that $100, let's say you've invested that money and over that time it grew to $300. In retirement, when you pull that money out, that whole $300 will be taxed as your income. So that's how an IRA works. But in a Roth IRA, if you put, let's say $100 in, you are taxed on that $100. So let's say with the $10,000 a year income example, you'd be taxed on your full $10,000. You put the $100 in your Roth IRA, but that $100 is never taxed again. So basically, it can grow to $300, $500, $1,000, whatever, and that money will never be taxed again. So in retirement, if you don't break any of the Roth IRA rules, if you pull it out correctly in retirement, you could pull that whole $300 out with zero taxes. So now the $1 million question. The question I get all the time is that which one is better? A Roth IRA or a normal IRA? And just like all the good questions in life, it depends. It depends on your situation and the tax situation. What if taxes were to increase by 30% down the road? Then you would have been much better off to use a Roth IRA. But let's say taxes decrease in the future, then you would have been better off using an IRA, right? Because you would pay taxes later and not now. You'd pay taxes later when taxes are lower, and you'd save money there. So it really depends. The question you're asking is, are taxes for me going to be higher now or later? And so that's a hard question to answer. Because for you, let's say before retirement, you were making 100 grand, you paid taxes on the full 100 grand. In retirement, let's say you were only making 40, 50 grand. You'd be paying less taxes. So you'd be in a lower tax bracket. So for you, maybe it would make sense to have a normal IRA. But for many people, they don't want to drop their standard of living in retirement. Many people want to thrive in their retirement, not just survive. They want to have the same standard of living. So you're going to be in the same tax bracket, most likely, unless, of course, you use a Roth IRA. And when you take that money out of your Roth IRA, come retirement time, it doesn't put you up into any tax bracket because it comes out as tax-free. So that can be a huge benefit for those that think their tax bracket will be high in retirement. Now, I'm sure many of you are asking, well, how in the world will I know if taxes will increase down the road? Or I don't know what my situation will be in retirement. So what's best for me when I simply don't know? And honestly, for most people, since we don't know, there's some risk with whatever choice we do. There's some risk there. Since we don't know what it's going to be like, it often makes sense to use both, right? That's the answer. Use both. Because let's say in retirement, you have a year where you sell a house or you do something where you have huge amounts of taxable income. Then in that year, you say, hey, I'm going to pull money out of my Roth IRA, so it's not going to bump me up anymore in the taxable bracket, right? You're not going to pay any more of tax during that year. But let's say you had a year where you really didn't have a lot of taxable income. Say, hey, this year I'll just take it from my normal IRA and it'll bump me up a little bit, but not too bad because my taxable bracket was low this year. So it gives you flexibility and options, which in retirement is a huge, huge blessing because you have choices. You say, hey, I could do this or this. Most people get stuck into whatever choice they made years ago and they don't have any preference of what they do, or not preference, but they don't have any choice, any freedom to choose down the road. So a good option to have freedom down the road is to use both a regular IRA and a Roth IRA. Now, the one difference that we do see when it comes to being able to invest in a IRA or a Roth IRA is that with Roth IRAs, there are income limitations. So once you start making over certain amounts, you can't invest in Roth IRAs anymore. But for some 401k plans at your employer, for the federal government, the TSP, in these plans, there is a Roth side where you can invest Roth. So basically you pay taxes now and you don't pay taxes later. So for your situation, try to do what makes sense. Maybe a Roth IRA does work for you, maybe it doesn't. Try to do the very best you can for you so that you have more choices down the road in retirement. And again, I hope this is helpful for you and gives you just one simple thing that you can do to better prepare for retirement, to better prepare for your future down the road so that you can live a life that you truly love. Because I talk a lot about money and investing and saving and all these things, but it's because money is not important. The only reason I talk about money is so that it can bring value to the rest of your life. That's the only thing that brings true value to you and not money itself. So make sure you make that distinction when making all these decisions about now and about retirement, that you do it to bring value to you, your family, and to you, your life. And again, if you have any questions, comments, please put in the comments below. I will try to answer any questions that you might have, and I will see you next week.